When you can't make it to City Hall or the school board meetings, local journalists from duluthnewstribune.com will be there to report the facts and get your questions answered. Local news works for you. Stay up to date at duluthnewstribune.com.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Thursday, August 3rd. I'm Wyatt Buckner with the Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now here's a look at today's headlines. A 19-year-old man is dead after a pair of related shootings in Duluth, authorities said Wednesday. Officers responded to the 2500 block of West 2nd Street around 1:30 p.m. and found two victims, Public Information Officer Maddie Helseth said in a news release. A 19-year-old man was transported to a hospital by ambulance and pronounced dead. An 18-year-old man who was also shot went to the hospital in a private vehicle. At about 2 p.m., officers responded to a report of a second shooting on the 3900 block of West 4th Street, Helseth said. No victims were found at that scene, but a social media statement from the police department said the two incidents were related. Police said Wednesday evening they had one, then later a second person in custody and were actively investigating. Names of the victims will be released once next of kin is notified. The investigation in Lincoln Park seemed to be centered on a residence at 2508 West 2nd Street, across the street from Happy Time Daycare. An employee at the daycare told the News Tribune they did not hear any gunshots and that the children were sleeping safely inside at the time. At the West 4th Street scene just before 5 p.m., police were announcing on a loudspeaker for anyone at the residence to exit with their hands up. A K-9 unit was present. Meanwhile, a News Tribune reporter witnessed a large police presence near the corner of Central Avenue and West 8th Street. Traffic on Central Avenue was blocked, and police were seen with long guns and a drone. A black Acura sedan was towed away, and a K-9 unit from the Hermantown Police Department searched the area. The street reopened to traffic around 3:15 p.m. Helseth said police are investigating whether the Acura is related to the shootings. For 8 days, the family of Ricky Balsimo Jr. gathered at the St. Louis County Courthouse and tried to remain stone-faced as they listened to defense attorneys argue that the St. Paul man was to blame for his own shooting death. On Wednesday, when a jury rejected Jacob Colt Johnson's self-defense claim, the Balsimo family could finally let the emotions take over, openly shedding tears for the loss of their loved one while sharing exuberant hugs following a long-awaited verdict. A 12-member jury took about 3 hours to find Johnson, 37 of Superior, guilty of both intentional and unintentional second-degree murder in the June 20th, 2021 killing. While the crime occurred in the Twin Cities, its sensational aftermath captured far more attention, as Balsimo's dismembered remains were discovered in Lake Superior several weeks later. The jury, in addition to finding Johnson guilty of both counts, unanimously concluded that he participated in both the dismemberment and the concealment of the victim's remains. Those aggravating factors could be used to sentence Johnson to an above-guideline prison term, up to the statutory maximum of 40 years. Johnson looked directly ahead in the direction of the judge as he read the verdict, not displaying any apparent emotion. Judge Michael Cuso ordered an investigation of his background ahead of sentencing on September 11th in Grand Marais. U.S. Representative Tom Tiffany won't be making a run for the U.S. Senate in 2024. The Wisconsin Republican was first elected to the U.S. House of Representatives during a special election in May 2020 and was re-elected in November. Tiffany announced Tuesday that he will seek re-election to Wisconsin's 7th Congressional District. The decision came after talking to his family, he said. Tiffany considered running against U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin, Democrat Wisconsin, in the 2024 election. He said he can make the greatest impact continuing to serve in the House of Representatives. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought to you by Superior Telegram's history podcast, Archive Dive.
Good morning. This Duluth area forecast, a generally sunny day with a few scattered clouds, maybe a little fog early in the day. Temperatures warming to about the low to mid 80s in the Duluth Harbor area and a few degrees warmer away from Superior. Northwest winds around 5 to 10, maybe a gust to 15 this afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear with a low in the upper 50s to around 60. And then for tomorrow, again, mostly sunny with temperatures slightly cooler in the mid-70s around Duluth as the wind shifts to the east at 5 to 15. Clouds and at least a chance of showers this weekend. Temperatures for highs in the 70s. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist John Wheeler.
Thank you to Archive Dive for their support. The monthly history podcast, hosted by Superior Telegram reporter Maria Lockwood, dips into the archives of historic events, people, and places around Superior and Douglas County. You can find the latest episode of Archive Dive at superiortelegram.com or wherever you also get this podcast. Reporting for today's episode was done by Jimmy Lovren, Dan Williamson, Terry Caddo, Tom Olson, and Maria Lockwood. Thank you for listening to Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.